I took my first engineering class my freshman year of high school, and I just kind of signed up for it without really knowing what I was doing. And then once I was in that class, I started joining the robotics club and stuff like that, and then from there it just took off. So I think actually being in the class is what inspired me to continue taking the classes.
I plan on majoring in mechanical engineering because I'm more hands-on than just being inside the office doing something on the computer.
Absolutely. This class is completely different than other classes that you would take because it has real-world applications, and you can't fake it, honestly. It's either you know it or you don't. I know it sounds scary, but actually it really helps with learning.
Yes, because when we get to college, we already have background of what we need to do in an engineering class, and since we have actual engineers from different engineering companies and they tell us what they work on every day, it helps us prepare more and more until we graduate.
Yes, this makes me really want to go to college, and we get to see a bunch of engineers that come from like SpaceX and a bunch of other companies, and it makes me want to become an engineer. It's really cool.
My brother told me about this class when I was just about to graduate middle school, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my career, so I thought this was a good step for me to explore my options.
So my vision for the engineering program is that we eventually just start pumping out engineering students year after year after year and just building a huge program from this. I think this is really the future.
So this is the engineering program's presentation room. We come down here to practice presentation for Skills USA, for First Robotics, and any other competitions that we entered over the year. Everything you see in the room was custom designed specifically for this room. We have a boardroom style table, so that way we could meet in a more formal setting to help practice real life interviews that we would have with industry leaders and such. One thing we like about this program, it's very competitive. Every student is almost competing against each other in groups. So as Alyssa said before, we'd have a team standing up here presenting over to the audience. Mr. Yamasaki would be at the head of the table taking notes on the presentations, grading them, and at the very end of all the presentations, he would then decide which one is the best, and that one would get a definite A in the class, while the rest still have the ability to get A's but don't know their grade quite yet.
And then also those plaques up there, they're empty right now, but in the near future, since our engineering program, we enter a lot of competitions and stuff, the winners of any like state championships or even national championships will get their name engraved in those plaques, and they'll be up there for as long as this building is here.
The Engineering Hall of Fame. And
yeah, so we can go back upstairs.
yeah, so this is our 3D printing First Robotics area. Here behind us you see 4 gigabot 3D printers. We have 2 more downstairs. We have a total of 6 in the building, and the next place that compares to us with the amount of printers we have is the country of Bolivia with 5. So these could print in 2 cubic feet, anything from this gear heart to a stormtrooper helmet.
So we use these in our classes, like Principles of Engineering. One of the projects that we were tasked with is building a solar-powered boat, and there's some teams in that class that designed their boat on some software on the computer called Inventor, and then from there they transfer it over to here, and we're able to 3D print them and present them. And so we actually have a prototype instead of just talking about it.
So one thing that's really cool about this facility is that it's really hands-on. Everything you do here, it's student-oriented, as opposed to the teacher doing it for you and you just watching. You really get hands-on with this equipment. For example, most students in the engineering program know how to use the 3D printers, which is something that you'd go to a university and you wouldn't really see.
So over here we have CNC machine simulators. Downstairs we have 2 CNC machines. So another thing that, like what Nick was talking about, it's very hands-on. So in order for us to know how to use a CNC machine without hurting ourselves or
damaging equipment.
damaging the CNC machines, we come up here to the simulators and we practice entering the code and stuff for the machine instead of actually doing it the real way.
And we don't just use machines, we also do some welding and vacuum plastics. And we have a laser engraver as well.
Yeah, so just everything in here is very hands-on. And any student in Mr. Masaki's classes are welcome to use any of it.
And an additional thing that the engineering program does is, I'm sure most people have been to the Downey Warren football game. So it was the engineering program that filmed the Downey Warren game with the drone. So every time you guys see it, you should wave hi at it because we're probably recording. So one thing about the FLIR cameras, as we mentioned before, they could track heat. So as you can see, Alyssa has her hand on the whiteboard, and if you look at it through the camera, you could see her hand through the camera, but Alyssa, move your hand. It could also detect the leftover heat.
Wow.
So as opposed to just seeing your hand, you could also see your hand when it's not there. So this is our VEX robotics field. We use this to compete in Skills USA. So if you take a look around the field, you'll see kind of robots scattered around. The reason we have this is because we are totaled at right now 8 teams competing in the Skills USA competition. Last year we got first in the state, and every year before that, under the guidance of Mr. Yamasaki, we've taken first in state successfully. So this year we're hoping to do the same thing.
So you can see the field here. It's this game, we're tasked with picking up these balls and scoring them into nets. So each year the game changes. Last year our robots had to pick up cubes and score them onto various heights various posts of different heights. The robots had to reach up to, I think it was like 43 inches. So you can see the balls here.
Yeah, and another aspect about our robotics program is our first robotics program. This is something we're trying out. This is the first year we're going to be doing it. Over at the screen you could see a first robotics game being played. The point of this year's game was to shoot basketballs from half court or further into a basketball hoop just using a robot. Now that's something hard to do even just by yourself, but for these robots they were all programmed to do that autonomously, meaning that you just press a button and your robot does it by itself.
So these robots here are different from the VEX and Skills ones. These robots are about my height, so maybe like 5 or 6 feet, and they're over like 100 pounds each.
Yeah, it usually takes a team of 4 people to lift them, and everything on the robot is handmade. That means that our students are going to be learning how to weld, 3D print parts out, and use CNC machines to machine parts down to specifications that we need.